Welcome to The Youth Will Always Win, the podcast where we help students win in the areas that matter the most. This is a space built to inspire, challenge, and equip the next generation to live out their faith with confidence. Whether you're on the way to school, at practice, doing homework, or just navigating everyday life, we're talking about what it actually looks like to follow Jesus in today's world. Through every challenge, every doubt, and every victory, remember the youth will always win.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to The Youth Will Always Win, the podcast where we help youth win in the areas that matter the most. And it is our first episode of 2026, and it's super exciting because tonight we are here with a live audience. Live audience, make some noise. Let's go. Man, let's do it. Well, hey, I'm excited because today we are here with Alex Deanda and talking about winning in the everyday. Let's show some love to Alex up in here. Yeah.
Can I just say that that intro makes me look like the bummiest bum.
What do you mean?
Because it's like, yo, so we've got this lady from SCU Worship, we've got the guy that created Danny Phantom, we've got the winner of America's Got Talent, and then we've got Alex, and he's from Fort Wayne, and that's literally my entire thing, bro.
Alex, you mean a lot to us, man.
Oh, dude,
well, you mean a lot to us because if you don't know Alex, he was here at our podcast launch party a few years ago and did our first episode, Winning in Your School, which was super fun, super exciting.
Awesome.
And then not only do you know him at Lake Placid at camp, Who Loves Camp, all that great stuff, right? So fun.
Dude, this youth group.
You know him?
This youth group is going to heaven, man.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Triple heaven. Let's go.
Triple heaven.
But he's also a great friend of mine, and we went to discipleship school together until COVID, and it was awesome. So it's going to be a great night. And so, Alex, we've been in this series called Little by Little, and the whole idea is pretty simple and kind of easy to understand here. And that is that most of us can point to a few mountaintop moments in our faith, right? Things like the night you gave your life to Jesus, a camp moment, an altar moment, a night where God really revealed himself to you. We can probably think of those things, and those moments matter a lot, but we just don't live on the mountaintop. We just don't, right? Most of the life is in the in-between every day. Work, school, stress, temptation, boredom, routines, wins, losses, whatever it may be, just so many types of things. And so what we've been saying this whole series is real spiritual growth doesn't just happen in those big mountaintop moments. Real spiritual growth happens in the everyday, the ordinary stuff, right? The days that don't feel spiritual at all. And I will not be afraid to admit it. There are days in all of our lives that just don't feel as spiritual, and that's okay, right? And so when we talk about winning in the everyday, we're not downplaying these big moments, these big God moments. We're just learning how to follow Jesus when life feels normal in the everyday. Kind of some backstory for you, Alex, and for a listener who maybe hasn't been with us the last few weeks. And so we're going to dive right in. This is my question for you, and I think this is a great question to start this off. All right. Why do so many people expect faith to grow in big mountaintop moments instead of normal life?
That's good. That's good. Honestly, I would say it has to do with the intensity of the emotions that we feel at those things. Okay. Now, that's not to say that camp can't change lives or that youth convention or winter retreats and stuff don't change your life, because it changed my life, absolutely. Yeah. But I think that those are high intensity emotional moments, and sometimes we allow ourselves to be kind of led by those emotions, which, I mean, your word tells you that your heart is deceitful. Your heart is fickle, right? Your heart can lead you one way. You can feel one way one week and then feel a completely different way the other week. And when we allow ourselves to be, led by your emotions, it's easy for you to go all over the place. And so I think it feels easier, in those big intensity, the room's full of 500 other people just like you, going through life.
Who are all there for the exact same thing.
Who are all
Christians who all made the decision. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all there for the exact same thing, and so it's easy to kind of get swept up in the emotions of it, and to feel like, oh, dude, God only changes my life at camp because that's when I cry the most, or that's when I have those intense altar moments, or that's when I have the really serious conversations, and then it gets to like the everyday, and every day isn't camp. Right? I mean, like you said, every day is every day, and sometimes it's dull. A lot of the times it's dull, and it's mundane, and it's just waking up and choosing to do the same thing every single day. And it feels like less growth happens there because the emotions aren't as high. But I remember we were actually on a golf cart together one year at
Never
camp.
know where that story's going to go.
we were on a golf cart together at camp. And I remember you were talking about kind of like post-camp momentum and like launching your students. And I remember we talked about something to the effect of like, you had said, you show me someone whose relationship with God is just the high emotion,
I'm tracking.
high emotions and like the worship moments and not rooted in like their word or prayer. And I'll show you someone who has a shallow relationship with the Lord. And I was like, cooked, bro.
No,
it's absolutely true.
No, you're exactly right. I love that. That's exactly right. Like we need to listen to our feelings because they tell us something. But we just can't be led by our feelings, right? It's deceitful. That's exactly right. Think of like these classic miracles in the Bible, like Moses parting the Red Sea and David and Goliath and Daniel in the lion's den, right? These are like some awesome, cool mountaintop moments. Like these are the things that inspired their faith. And so many years later, they're inspiring our faith, right? Because they're cool. But we also have to remember that we can't just remember the cool side of the story. We also have to think, okay, at some point, the Red Sea was parted and they got to the promised land. At one point, Goliath was done and he chopped off his head and he went home. At one point, Daniel was out of the lion's den and back to his normal routine or whatever. And it's good for us to look because we're inspired by those stories, not just at the cool thing that happened, but man, how did they respond when the moment was over? How did they respond when this big altar moment or this big miracle was over? How did they respond and how should we respond as well? And when we choose to look at that, we choose to see, man, did they steward that moment well? Because there's plenty of times in the Bible where God did something big and they did not steward the moment well. And I even think, I keep bringing up Moses because that's been a big part of this series, but Moses in the Red Sea, right? The Israelites pretty quickly like turned around and like, hey, let's see what this golden calf's about. Let's do our own thing.
Which is wild. A week later, they're like, I don't know, that cow's looking pretty solid.
And is that not what happens when we go to camp?
Exactly.
Is it not we go 100%. And we're like, come on, Lord, and then it's like
fight
later.
my battles.
And it's because we're hopping from mountaintop to mountaintop instead of knowing the real spiritual growth is going to happen in the time in between. And so that can be hard. It can be hard. And so
you guys got a pastor. Oh my gosh, bro.
Hey,
he's in his word.
Hey, I got a friend, man.
Oh, come on.
But no, okay, so I'm glad we're talking about camp and stuff and like youth convention. And I'm saying camp because this isn't just about like after camp or anything. Of course, this is like February. Like, come on. I am excited for camp, but it's a long time away. But this is also like big altar moments that you have or a time where God really reveals to himself. And so let me ask you this. Why do you think it's harder to follow Jesus in the normal routine instead of events or things like camp or church or a powerful altar moment? Like, why do you think it's harder to follow God in the everyday?
I mean, I think pretty obviously these events like camp, like youth convention, like winter retreats, like anything like that, their entire design is to make it easy to follow God, is to make it easy to do all of these things. It's intentionally separating yourself away from your distractions, away from the things that have, that you've been dealing with, away from all of that stuff so that you can focus on God. Every single thing about it is meant to steer you to having an intense encounter with the Lord. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think what you said, what we end up tricking ourselves up is saying that, oh yeah, the camp is reality. I leave camp, and if it's not like camp, then I'm super disappointed because all of a sudden camp is my new reality.
And I'll even say, even like an altar moment you have at church, it's like, oh man, like God just did something. Like I just felt him speak. And then you have an altar moment the next week, and you're still reading your word, you're still praying, you're still doing all the things, but it feels different and it maybe doesn't feel the same way to you. And you're thinking, okay, is God not here? Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, that's exactly where that falls in.
Yeah, no. 100%.
And that is going to happen. Like, not every moment is going to feel the exact same.
Yeah, I would say that. And I think that exactly that, because I don't know if you guys remember, like anytime you go to a youth convention or camp or anything like that, they always are ending it with, hey, by the way, everyone here in this room, we know that you just had an awesome time with God. You know, we saw healings, we saw freedom happen, we saw all of this, but they always hit it hard that this cannot stay here. What happens at camp, what happens at convention, what happens at the altar cannot stay here. Otherwise, all of it was for nothing. The whole point is for you to have this life change happen. And for this, once this life change happens, that altar moment, that camp, that whatever, is supposed to act as like a launching pad. It's supposed to launch you into the rest of your life or into just the next week. You know, that's what we're talking about. When you go into actual life and when the distractions are back and when your faith is actually put to the test is when these things, when all of the tools that you were equipped with at camp, that's when you're going to start using them, right? All this stuff that you learned at camp, all the stuff that God did is not just for it to stay at Lake Placid. The whole point is that it has to come home. It has to go into your schools. It has to go into your work. It has to leave there. Otherwise, you're just leaving whatever God did back at that altar. And the whole point is that life change has to push beyond that.
No, I love that, Alex. You're exactly right. And it goes back, a lot of Christians and a lot of churches talk about like, hey, don't be a Sunday Christian. Like one of our songs we love is Monday Morning Faith, right? Why do we love that? Because it's just such a good reminder to us, right? And so I think that is where so many people get it backwards. Like they think, and I think sometimes we as Christians think that faith only matters when it's exciting. When music is blasting, there's a fire in the room, everybody's watching, right? 500 people together. But the truth is that God does not need the hype.
Yep.
He does not need it, right? Your faith can grow in the boring, routine moments of every day.
It has to.
And exactly, it has to, right? Think about training for a sport. Someone doesn't become an all-star just because they played in the championship game.
Yeah.
They become an all-star because behind the scenes, they were at practice. They worked on their layups. They worked on their endurance and running. They worked on free throws when no one is watching. And I think our faith can be saved, the same thing can be said about our faith, right? It's those little individual decisions. Choosing kindness when it's easy to be mean. Choosing honesty when it's easy to lie. Praying over a test instead of stressing about it before you take it, right?
100%.
Those little things are going to be what builds faith that lasts, right? That's where the everyday win happens. And I remember as we've been preparing for this, Alex, and I wrote it down because I really want to ask it right because you said something really good. As we were talking and planning this out, you shared something about the dangers in our relationship with God when we only focus on avoiding sin and not building spiritual habits.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we have to work on avoiding sin. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
That's pretty clear. But sometimes we just worry about not sinning, but we don't really do anything about reading our Bible or any of that. That's kind of an afterthought to us.
100%. Yeah. I think with that, there's this idea of like behavior modification versus like genuine heart change, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So behavior modification, a lot of the times what we end up doing is just, oh, hey, if I don't sin, then eventually my heart will follow suit. If I don't watch what I'm not supposed to be watching, if I don't do what I'm not supposed to be doing, if I just stay clean of all that, then eventually my heart is just going to change.
Oh, okay.
But your word says that it's the other way around, right? That we get to the heart of the issue first, and once we deal with the heart, the rest of the stuff follows. I think of like a garden full of weeds, right? You've got your garden, your heart, and it's full of weeds, and sometimes behavior modification is the same thing as just like clipping the weeds to where we don't see them anymore. And it looks good and my garden looks clean. I haven't done what I'm not supposed, I've been good. I've been clean for a week and my garden looks solid. I think I'm ready to for God to plant more seeds. Yeah. But a lot of the times what we didn't do was get to the root of it. We didn't dig down and nip it in the bud of what was going on. And what instead of allowing the Lord to do open heart surgery on us, we just put a Band-Aid on an issue, right? We just made it so that we don't have to see it. And if we don't see it, then that becomes our reality, right? Our perception's reality. And I haven't done this, so I'm good. I'm clean. God's done a lot of work in me, which, you know what? Maybe he is doing a work in you, but what he wants to do is get to the heart of the matter. He wants to get to the root of the issue, pull that weed, and then see the real heart change, then change everything else about you.
Dude, that is so good. I love what you just said about the behavior modification and how it's not like, let me just cleanse all this stuff up. Like, let's work on the heart first, because that's also going to be easier, not just for a student, but anyone. If you're just working on, I'm going to do these things because I'm not supposed to, and my mom gets mad at me and takes my phone away. It's like, okay, that might help you a little bit, but if you allow God to do a transformation in your heart, not that temptation isn't going to come, but I believe those desires can go away. And so when you try to fight something and continually have the desires for them because you're just doing it for the sake of trying to look good versus like, man, I really want to be like Jesus. Yeah. I really want to do that. I think that's so good.
100%. Also, if I can.
No, do it.
I also think we get ourselves caught up in looking pretty before we go to God with our stuff. A lot of the times we think that our stuff is too big or it's too messy or whatever, and I've got to clean myself up before I can go to the Father. And when we do that and we put it in our own strength, we're just eliminating the need for Jesus in our life. The whole point is that we are imperfect, and He meets us there and bridges the gap. And along with the Holy Spirit, we have help in our life change. But when we say, "Oh, let me get this all on my own, and then I'll go to God with the little stuff," like that's so counterintuitive. The whole point is to bring it all to the table and let Him work on us through it.
100%. And so before we close out, Alex, I got one more question for you. Okay. I just want to hear before we get to our fun stuff, and I'm curious what's going on.
Dude,
here.
I've got a gift for Pastor Connor, guys. I've got a surprise.
Literally have no idea what this is.
Oh no, I know. I got it cleared though. We're good.
Okay, just help us, Lord. Okay, so kind of to wrap up here, and it falls a little bit with our question, but would love to just kind of get your closing thoughts and winning in the everyday. What would you say to a student who feels like they're failing spiritually because they can't stay consistent?
You're human.
Yeah.
You're human. We're human. Like I said earlier, when we expect perfection in ourselves, we are eliminating the need for Jesus in our lives. You cannot do it. You will never be able to do it perfectly, ever. And you won't be able to do it at all without the Lord stepping in and having Him help you out along the way. I think sometimes we expect perfection, and when we don't have it, then we just sign off completely, right? I think that we'll say, okay, like what you said about the gym, right? If we have someone who goes to the gym, they miss one day, it'd be like for me saying, oh, well, I missed a day. I guess I'll never work out ever again, right? We do that. Again, it has to do with us making it so big so that failure feels even bigger because we made the first step so big. Yeah. Right? And so, I mean, think about the things that you have in your life that you do all the time that are habits that you know you need, right? You brush your teeth.
Hopefully.
You brush your teeth. You shower. Please.
You still got the toothbrush that like plays the Disney songs. You know what I mean?
You got your Paw Patrol toothbrush, all right? You still brush your teeth. Even if you miss brushing your teeth, right? You're like, oh, I was so busy, I forgot to brush my teeth. That doesn't mean that you're like, you know what? I guess that's it. I guess that's it. I guess I just throw it away and we're done for life, right?
We're done.
I missed a shower. Life got really busy, so I guess I'm musty. I guess
some middle schooler boys are writing that down. They're like, oh,
shower
I didn't
twice.
Realize I could
shower twice. There you go.
Let's do it.
Right? If you miss,
I'm about to clip this for Cam.
please shower.
Side note.
Please shower, middle school boys.
Please.
You miss a meal. You don't just say, all right, I guess I'll starve. Right? You know that you need these things, and again, it's about choosing consistency. And I think that consistency doesn't always mean that you're going to have consistent results, but it does mean that you need to be putting in consistent effort. Right? You're not going to be perfect, but if you show up every single day and say, you know what, God, I'm here, and it's not going to be perfect, but I am here, and I want to pursue this every single day. That is where you will meet Him. He will still continue to honor that. You will still experience growth. It's when we say, all right, I messed up once. I guess I'm back to square one, and I can't ever get back to where I was ever again. That's not true, right? Your failure does not negate the growth and progress that you have made in your life.
Dude, I love that, right? Spiritual growth is not about trying harder to impress God. It is about responding to the grace that you've already been given. And so we don't pray and read our Bible to become loved. We pray and we read our Bible and we seek after God because we are loved. Come on. We are loved, and there is grace for us, and we're not doing anything to earn God's love. But man, the love that God has given me, and maybe whatever platform He's put you in or position or calling, whatever it is, I want to steward that well and do what I know is best. We have a tradition that I'm switching up a little bit.
Okay.
And so we've always ended every episode with 10 rapid fire questions. Still going to do something fun.
Is this season 2 officially?
I mean, I guess it's the 11th episode. So if that's what we're going by.
That's a weird season, but I'm down.
Well, like 10 episodes.
Oh, okay. So this is episode 11. Okay, yeah. All right. Season 2, guys. Youth will always win season 2.
Anyway, what we're going to do instead of 10 rapid fire questions is Alex is going to give us 2 truths and a lie, and we have to vote on which one is. Which one's the lie?
Okay. I did prep this beforehand. So.
Well, I hope, because I asked you to.
No, I know, but
my name's Alex. I'm like,
my name is. It's actually okay. 2 truths and a lie.
Alejandro.
All right. First of the 3, I broke my ankle by getting run over by a Dodge Durango.
Crazy.
Second one.
I had a Dodge Durango.
I guess we'll find out.
I guess we will. Maybe I don't remember.
Number 2, I spent over $700 on board games in 2025.
I actually think I would believe that.
Okay, chill.
Wait, okay, time out.
And number 3, I used to be employed by Jimmy John's.
Okay. I'm going to say something about the board games.
All right.
Yeah.
Chill.
So, like, Brendan's up here. You can't see him if you're watching because he's edited out. Sorry, man. But, like, me and Brendan, our family, we love board games.
You love
And
board
when
games.
I try to, like, play a board game with Alex, this dude, like, brings out a box this size.
Guys.
And it takes him 3 hours. We were at a district event for, like, pastors, and he played a game with some people. It took him 45 minutes to set up. Everyone had to watch a 25-minute beforehand, and the game took over 3 hours to play.
And we had a great time.
Buddy,
what
happened to Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza?
See that's where that's the 10-pound. That's the 10-pound weight, dude. I need something heavier, dude. I need something heavier. I can't play.
More expensive,
Taco Cat
apparently.
Goat Cheese Pizza
$7.50. Okay, so ran over your ankle, or is that what you said?
My ankle. I got
you
my
broke
ankle.
it. Okay, so the board games, $750. You said. You used to be employed at Jimmy John's.
Over $700.
I actually don't think I know this.
Okay. Dude, this is good then.
I don't know. Okay, so you
one's
guys
a lie.
have to help us out.
One's a lie.
So I'm going to say one of them, and then you guys need to really cheer if you think that's a lie. And our official guess is going to be whichever one we cheer loudest for. Okay. So I got to take this off a little bit so I can hear him. All right, here we go. First one. If you think the lie is that his ankle got ran over by a Dodge Durango, make some noise.
Dude, what? You've told.
They're looking at your ankle. That's been broken before.
100%.
All right. Okay.
He's still got the tire tread marks on his. I can see it.
Imagine just on your sock is a tire mark.
It's just limp, dude. There's no bone.
He's like, yeah, it happened today.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Sure. It's your Dodge Durango.
He was like, it was actually one of your parents out in the parking lot. I'm about to sue him. Anyway. Okay.
It's over.
Okay. So we're not voting for that. What about spending $750 in board games?
Some. All right.
Was that Tyler? Someone didn't cheer. They just said, I think that's the lie. Cheer.
He understands the name of the game.
Okay. Okay. All right. And then last one was that you were employed at Jimmy John's. Who thinks that's a lie? Dude. Okay.
All right.
All right. First one. Ran over by a Dodge Durango and your ankle somehow broke. Was that the lie?
I was 11 years old.
Are you serious?
And I was getting out of the truck to go close the garage door and jump over the sensor.
There's no way you ate it.
No, dude. I ate it on my way out, and my father drove over it. He thought it was a little bump going into the garage from the driveway, and he just
Did he not see the body laying in
Not at all. No, he fully ran over my ankle. I tripped and my ankle ran.
I did not know this.
Dude, 100%. Yep. I broke my ankle. Now it makes like a weird cracking sound every time I do it.
So we thought the lie was 3. So we'll see if we have the right answer here.
Okay.
So was the lie that you worked at Jimmy John's?
The summer after my senior year.
Are you serious?
I was employed at Jimmy John's sandwich shop for 2 months before going to Impact Masters Commission.
But are you trying to be a brand ambassador?
Where I met. Hey, please. I worked at Jimmy John's. I was a delivery driver for Jimmy John's for 3 months.
Crazy. That 100%. Is great. So you didn't spend $750 on games?
I did not spend $700.
I spent $755.
I did not spend $700 on games in 2025. I spent around $500 to $600 on board games in 2025. He thought, hey, Tyler, I thought that was the lie.
Tyler got it.
Tyler got it. Congratulations, Tyler.
That's crazy. That bought you 2 board games.
And that bought me two of my 100-pound board games is what it bought me.
All right. I'm curious, Alex, we got to get rolling here a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we have a popcorn bar.
Absolutely.
If you're listening, go make yourself some popcorn and enjoy the show. But I would love to know, man, curiosity's killing the cat. If I am the cat here, and it seems you got me a gift, so I'm very curious about this.
I did.
You commented on one of our posts, and you said you got me something that cost $1.
Individually, yes.
Okay.
Individually, yes. Golly gee, it was only $1. Yeah,
I was wondering why you were asking me for packing tape. I thought you were going to try to do an illustration.
As soon as you asked me if I would pull up for this, I said I'm bringing him a gift, and I know exactly what I'm bringing him.
Okay.
And so over the past 2 days, I have been collecting.
It's literally a box. Are these real?
These are real. These are, 100%.
This is, it's literally a full box.
I went around Fort Wayne and I purchased 25 loaves of Jimmy John's sandwich bread. And
There's no way.
I promise you.
This is crazy.
50 cents each. Steal.
Dude, I don't even know what to say.
You know how I knew that?
You make me want to blush. I'm so honored.
I used to work there, man. I used to work there. I understand. I understand.
You said you went all around Fort Wayne. Were you so embarrassed to get 25, you just went to 25 locations?
No, I walked in and I said, hey, how many day-old loaves do you have? And they were like, oh, I think we got 10. I said, I'll take them all. And I did that at like 3 different stores and just bought all of their day-old bread because I figured that this would be funny.
It is very funny.
And if it's not, that's okay. But
it is funny. I'm so
you can
blown
give it
away
to your
by the
students, man.
randomness.
If a student wants a loaf of bread, please feel free.
Maybe.
Interesting, because I recall this group being the one that roasted the mess out of me when I said that Jimmy John's
I think they were the ones.
Yeah. Hold on. When he said cheer if you think Jimmy John's is a bad restaurant, and you guys got dummy hype. So that's wild that you now want the bread.
Free Jimmy John's is something else. But hey, Alex, we really do appreciate you. Can make some noise for Alex. We really appreciate you coming on. Dude, it's so fun to have you on here with us and just to hang out.
Dude, I'm happy to be here.
And nobody else brought me. That guy might have won $1 million on America's Got Talent, but he didn't give me Jimmy John's.
Dude,
so
come on.
It means a lot. Well, we just want to say, man, youth, we love you. And remember, don't just hop mountain to mountaintop, but you can win in the everyday life. And so, Alex, thank you for being with us.
Of course.
Remember,
dude.
we're the podcast where students can win the most. And we will see you on the next episode of the Youth Will Always Win. Let's go.
On the intro, will you change me to the, will you make me an intro on there that just says, Jimmy John's guy? Or
I'll add you on there.
America's Got Talent winner.
Ex-Jimmy John's employee.
Yeah, ex-Jimmy John's employee.